Imagine going out for a walk with your best friend and never coming back. That's exactly what happened to two teenage girls in Canada in the 1970s, and though their bodies were quickly discovered, it took decades for their murders to be solved. The man who killed them managed to slip by using fake names and moving throughout the United States and Canada. By the time police were able to link him to the crime almost 50 years later, he was already dead, having victimized even more women and girls. Eva Dvorak and Patricia McQueen, better known as Patsy, were good friends at their local junior high school in Calgary, Canada, the largest city in the cold province of Alberta. On the evening of February 14, 1976, the two 14-year-old girls went out for a walk like they did so many times before, but this time they didn't come back. The next morning at 10:40 a.m., their bodies were discovered just outside the city under the Happy Valley overpass on Highway 1. At the time, the coroner wasn't able to determine how they died, so their deaths weren't ruled a homicide. However, as time passed, more victims started popping up around Calgary, and it was only a matter of time until the dark truth about their demise would be revealed. Months after the girls' mysterious deaths, another sudden death caught the police's attention. Melissa Rahorick, a 20-year-old housekeeper from Ontario who had moved to Calgary that spring. At the time, she was staying at the YWCA, a women's help organization with roots all throughout Canada. On the evening of September 15th, her roommate reported seeing her leave to hitchhike out of town for the weekend, something that she did often. However, she didn't come back. Like the girls before her, her body would be found shortly before 11 a.m. the next morning, just a few miles outside of town. Unlike the girls before her, Melissa's cause of death was known. According to her autopsy, she was strangled to death. After Melissa, a few more months would go by before the next young woman was found deceased. Her name was Barbara McLean, and she was a 19-year-old bank teller from Nova Scotia. Like Melissa, she had moved to Calgary just months prior. On the night of February 25th, a little over a year after Eva and Patsy's disappearance, Barbara went out to a local bar with her friends and was seen leaving in the early hours of the 26th. Just 6 hours after she left, her body would be found by a dog walker inside Calgary. Like Melissa, she showed signs of strangulation. In all three crime scenes, police discovered male DNA, but the technology at the time was unable to take advantage of it. After all, DNA testing didn't even exist until the 1980s, and even then, it was expensive and rare. It wouldn't be until 2022 that the police were finally able to match the DNA to a name, and by that time, he was long gone. So, who killed these four young girls in Calgary, Canada? His name was Gary Allen Srery. Gary was born in Idaho, USA, and he moved to California when he was still a kid. It was there that he grew up and began his life of crime, committing crimes such as kidnapping and burglary and even rape, though he was found not guilty on many of his charges. In 1974, when he was in his 30s, Srery was charged with rape, and after posting bail, skipped town and fled to Canada, entering illegally and living throughout the country under many fake names such as Willie Blackman and Rex Long. Along with his fake names, Srery would take odd jobs to make ends meet, and he was keen on changing his appearance and vehicles to avoid capture. In this way, he was able to live and do crime in Canada for over 20 years before he was finally caught and deported in 2003, following a sexual assault in 1988. 5 years later, he was convicted of rape in his home state of Idaho, where he would remain in prison until his death at 68 years old in 2011. Due to his multiple arrests in multiple jurisdictions, police in Canada were finally able to solve the crime in 2022 when Srery's DNA was a match for the DNA found at the crime scenes. Though he was only implicated in these 4 murders, it's possible that he has many more victims in Canada. Police are investigating whether he was involved in 2 murders in Vancouver which they say fit his modus operandi. And the fact that he used to live in British Columbia raises several red flags of its own. After all, British Columbia is home to the Highway of Tears, a giant stretch of road where dozens of women, many of them hitchhikers like Melissa, have died or gone missing since the 60s. To find out more about the Highway of Tears, check out the video on my channel. Only time will tell just how heinous the extent of his crimes were.